Hey, cousins. Hope everything is well. You know, it seems like content or conversation is kind of slowing down in these internets. Do you notice it in the air? Like people are kind of like burnt out because it's too much fucking content. I'm gonna be honest with you. It is too much content. But right now, this content is worth talking about, and that is Charlotte Flair. Okay, Mother Bone, Ashley Flair, the most controversial women's pro wrestler in the WWE. I'm comfortable saying that. It's a couple of things in this article that she wrote over at the Players Tribune, and it's called "How am I going to be able to be Charlotte today?" Is that what it's called? How am I going to be Charlotte Flair today? Yes. One of the things I did talk about that's going to be on the Patreon. I don't think it was something that would be like exciting over here on the YouTube. But what I am going to talk about over here with you guys is the topic of age and why what she said in this article is dead on, 100% correct, and she's not wrong at all. So let's go ahead and get into it. And there's a couple other things, but we'll do that in a different podcast. So let's get into this. She said, honestly, this is the more vulnerable than I usually am, but I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm old. Charlotte Flair is 39 years old. And I want to tell y'all a little something about society. I was sitting down and I went and I looked up what a spinster was. A spinster is a unmarried woman, typically an older woman beyond the usual age for marriage. Okay? This is what women by the age of 26 had to deal with. But it gets better. A thornback is a young woman who remained unmarried by 26 or 27. A thornback, okay? Now, here's an even fun one. The Victorian slang for an unmarried woman is a muffin walloper. An unmarried woman who enjoyed meeting up with her friends to gossip over tea and cakes. Okay? Keep this in mind. An old maid is an unmarried woman in her 40s. Charlotte, like a lot of us who are unmarried, is either a spinster, a muffin walloper, a old maid, or a thornback. All of that to say this. When you look up a man who's unmarried at any age, he's simply called a bachelor. So with all that being said, ageism in this society for women is atrocious. And everything that Charlotte Flair said is 100% correct. And she said, and I quote, "Not really, of course, I'm 39. But as a female wrestler who's pushing 40, I promise you, there are people in this industry who already consider me old. Never mind that I'm literally younger than Cody, who is considered the face of the company, and Roman, who's probably our biggest star. Never mind that CM Punk, who I'm 7 years younger than, main evented night one of Mania, and John Cena, who I'm 9 years younger than, main evented night two. Never mind that we live in an era where athletes are extending their primes for longer than ever. For men, and I say this with so much respect for the guys that I mentioned, there's no such thing as aging out. For women, though, the rules are different. For women, as depressing as it sounds, I think a lot of people still only know one way to value them as young and disposable. Let me explain something to you. Anybody that's debating that, I don't know what to tell you. You need to go find somebody else to debate with. Maybe debate with a brick wall. Go, back and forth with, some other dudes that agree that that's not true. Because everything she said is literally what women are born into. Whether you black, white, uh, red, yellow, this is what women are born into. We didn't ask for it. This is a society standard, and it's shown in every facet of industry, business, whether you up top and you rich or you bottom and below, young and disposable. She said, I think you see that in the women's stories that are allowed to be told. Let me tell you something. Mother ain't told a motherfucking lie. And we see this. What do I talk about all the time? Why are these grown ass women? And there's a reason why I say it like this. They got their period. They're married. They're mothers. They're entrepreneurs. They're college educated. They're athletic. Okay. Homeowners making their own money. They got lives that they lived. And these bitches is in the ring talking about, oh, well, you got ahead of me when I was trying to fight her, or you're cute, I'm cuter than you, and you're antiques. The only group of women that got a storyline worth anything was the big three. Because, again, you can't be putting bitches down to the windshield and trying to run them over in cars and shit because you know you feeling some kind of way about the friendship. That's real. That's real. There are a lot of, especially women, we get in our friend groups and we get real protective. And if a bitch just comes in Naomi and Bianca case, it's like, wait a minute. So, like Naomi said, y'all two hoes is looking at each other muscles and completely forgot about what was going on with me. That shit was funny. But what Charlotte Flair is correct. Everybody says it every time Charlotte Flair is on TV, and I'm sitting here taking accountability too. I do it too, child. We talk about her looks. We talk about the plastic surgery she got. We talk about how gaunt she's gaunt. Becky's mother gaunt. Charlotte's is got. Listen, she in the best shape of her life. But for the life of me, I don't know why her clothes, her the pants is baggy. Like, just pull that shit in. But Charlotte also is well aware of this. And this is what this article touched on, is that she took offense to the comment that Tiffany Stratton made about her being 0-3. And I understand it. I understand it because here the thing is, Charlotte said Ashley Flair is the one that's having difficulty in her marriage. Charlotte Flair isn't. Charlotte Flair is a character that she could step into and do her thug thizzle. She didn't expect something so personal to be used as fodder. Now, this is where the pro wrestling thing gets confusing, okay? Because they used the Hardy Boys drug addiction on live TV. They used CM Punk talking about he don't want no blood money and fuck this and fuck that on TV. They like to pull from real life and make it a part of the story. This is where the reality of pro wrestling or lack thereof is confusing for a lot of fans. I know I enjoy Charlotte Flair. Yes, she gets on my nerves. She gets too many opportunities. She just walks into the scene and is giving stuff. But that's literally Charlotte Flair's character. She is the queen. The queen gets what she wants. Everyone plays into her hand. When Charlotte Flair came back, we cheered because we was like, hell yeah, Charlotte Flair, but she looked good. She about to get in the ring and do that. And that's what she did. And we booed her because we right back to where we left off for the character. But yes, there are people who take things too seriously. Now, when I say separate the artist from the artist, from the artistry, I'm talking about this is light shit. If Charlotte Flair was out here molesting kids, killing animals, raping and abusing people, I would not even be having this type of fever or conversation about this. I'm talking about separate Ashley from Charlotte. This is where she talks about what rattled her during that promo. She thought it was too much because of all she was going through. And this article really put it down. Like, she really opened up and just laid it out there. And the woman don't have to. But then the only issue that comes out of this article is, again, I read the comments of people who don't give a fuck. And they're like, oh, here we go. Woe is me. Whoop, whoop, whoop. The woman's not asking you to baby her or sympathize with her. She's just telling you that I'm human. I'm a real person. I sit on the internet like everybody else and doom scroll. And the only thing is, y'all sitting on here going all the way in on me, and you think I'm supposed to just take it with a grain of salt, kind of like people do with basketball and football. There was a soccer player or something. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They said, I think it was a football player. Somebody said something about his mother who just passed away. The man burst into tears. Everybody's like, "Oh man, it ain't that serious." That's a human being, and you're just a fan. And we see it all the time when the soccer players are overseas and people throwing bananas and shit at the soccer players because they black. And you think that's supposed to just roll over their shoulders? Everything's supposed to be cool, or the whole the battle at the fight at the palace with, when you know what I'm talking about, when all them dudes was beating the people up in the audience at the basketball game. Y'all done sat there the whole game, talk cash shit, dog these men all the way out, and they finally got in the stands and beat every last one of y'all the fuck up, and they the ones to get in trouble. People are human, and it's almost so much you could take before it's like, you know what, fuck that. I'm about to get it in. We about to get in the field. This is what this article is talking about. I'm fucking human. I make mistakes. I don't do what I'm supposed to do. I get the outcome I get. I'm here to wrestle, entertain, like back the fuck up. She goes on to say, I want to play out my career, not age out of it. I want the story when I'm going for my last world title to be the grizzled vet chasing glory. Not that she old and obsessed. And baby, um, every time they come back, nobody said Goldberg. Well, we call him Oldberg, but his age isn't that big of a factor as if when what's her name? Trish Stratus comes back. When Trish Stratus comes back, everybody say, "Ooh, look how she look. She look good for 55, 60." When Goldberg comes back, it basically is like his old ass and we don't want to see him, but y'all give him space because he's Goldberg. And y'all kind of make your old comments and move on. But everybody settle in on the women. Even Tiffany Stratton, she calls Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is like 35. Antiques. She said they old women and she is the standard. Okay? I remember Mickey James, who at the time was like 35, was getting handed a walker and being called old and grandma to Alexa Bliss, who was like 29. Mickey James is in her around my age, if not in her late 40s, and she looked damn fucking good. So I don't even know what have to be. She looked younger than Alexa Bliss does now. Mickey James looked younger than Alexa Bliss does right now. Okay? This was a fantastic article. She was not wrong about the ageism. Um, I want to know your thoughts. Why do you think this article came out now? Why do you think Charlotte Flair, Ashley Flair, felt the need to put this out in the world? Because this article is talking about some heavy duty topics. And she did not have to share. She could have easily said, listen, watch Evolution and get the fuck out of my face. But something in her felt the need to put this stuff out. So y'all get in the comments and tell me, what do you think about the comments on ageism? Is she right? Is she wrong? If she wrong, explain. Don't just say she wrong. Explain yourself. If she right, go ahead and clap it up and sit back and relax. And I'll get you on the next one.